Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is CeeChronicles. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new on this channel, my content is mostly fragrance reviews, lifestyle videos, fashion, and a lot more. So I do hope you consider subscribing now or after watching or in between watching this video. I would appreciate you joining the family. I also want to acknowledge my returning subscribers. Thank you very much for always supporting this channel. I appreciate you coming back. I have fragrances in front of me here, 8 fragrances in particular that I do not recommend you blind buy. Okay, these are fragrances that I feel could be I think these are fragrances that you need to test first before you blind buy. I'm talking from experience, and you will know as we go as we go together in this video why I have selected these fragrances. So obviously, for the purpose of time, let me go straight to the first one, and I'll give you a little bit of information about the fragrance and why I feel it is not an ideal blind buy. Okay, so the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is this one, Chanel Allure Sensual. Okay, Chanel Allure Sensual. I think you can see the mark it's at. That is another reason why it's not one that I gravitate towards a lot. Okay, so I'm going to spray it here just as a reminder for me to know what to talk about. Okay, so Chanel Allure Sensual. Okay, I've had this for maybe 1.5 years, I think. Okay, so this is your woodsy, warm, spicy, powdery rose with some citruses and some vanilla. That is what you get from this fragrance. Okay, it is a complex scent, if you ask me. Okay, it is a complex scent. The only other Chanel that I own is Chanel No. 5, but I can tell you this: the Chanel, this particular one, it's so intense. Okay, there is the patchouli in here is so intense. It also has that lavender that comes across as so herbal in this, almost medicinal. Okay, giving it off like a camphor kind of vibe. If you've used camphor, okay, it's got that camphor kind of vibe thing going on in there. It also then turns a bit woodsy. Okay, and it smells almost dated, which granted, you know, Chanel's fragrances are the mature kind of fragrance, so the datedness in this does not exactly bother me. It's just, you know, how that lavender interprets here, where it gives off that camphor kind of, you know, kind of vibe. So because of that, I feel if you wanted to gift somebody this fragrance, it might be a risky one. It's because I just personally feel it's a fragrance that, you know, if you do yourself a favor and try it first, the better. Okay, I had a friend of mine suggest to me that I must layer it. That is exactly how I am wearing this fragrance. You know, I layer it with other fragrances. Otherwise, on its own, it just gives it off that masculine thing, that masculine vibe, where, you know, to think that it is a feminine scent, you know, it's just one of those things. However, it's that camphor thing that keeps interrupting there, the lavender that turns into like a camphor thing that bothers me. Okay, that was my fragrance number 1. Fragrance number 2, I do not recommend that you purchase without sampling first, is Elie Parfum. Okay, this might come as a surprise to some people because I know this is, you know, this is a fragrance that a lot of people like. This is a fragrance that's often talked about as a bridal scent. You know, oh, this is a man eater. It won't disappoint you. Elie Parfum is one fragrance that is so full of honey. Okay, this is your honey kind of fragrance, and you know, Francis Kurkdjian is the creator of this fragrance, so I'm not surprised. He's a master perfumer. Okay, so I did not expect to get some plasticky kind of flimsy scent. I was expecting the sophistication that I get in here. So I'm gonna spray it on a piece of paper and tell you why I do not recommend you purchase this without, you know, trying it first. Okay, the honey in here is mixed with some woods, some citruses. Okay, you will get the citruses in here, right? It's got some florals as well, and then the it's got that African orange flower in here, and I think the African orange flower gives it like a soapy kind of vibe. That's not particularly what I fear would come as a surprise to a lot of people. No, it's not the African orange flower. Okay, but I feel the mix of that African orange flower with the animalic element of the jasmine that is in here, you know, and the wood polish smell that comes off the Virginia cedarwood, okay, because it's got the Virginia cedarwood as well. Virginia cedarwood has this tendency to give off like a wood polish to it. Now, I just feel that the combo of these three notes, okay, which is the African orange flower, the jasmine, and the Virginia cedarwood, okay, the mix of them, and then with the honey thrown in there, gives off something that comes off as like it's a bug spray kind of thing. There is a bug sprayish thing that goes on, that comes off this fragrance, okay? Now, it takes either a person with a lot of fragrances to not be bothered by it, or a person that just doesn't smell that part of it. But I tend to smell that part of it as well. And because of that, Elie Le Parfum, okay, has become a fragrance that I choose to layer with other fragrances, because I just feel it's not safe. I feel it's a fragrance, if I just worn it as is and walked out, I wouldn't want somebody complimenting or somebody suggesting that, did somebody spray some bug spray here? I think I would be offended. So because of that, I've opted to be layering this a lot. It's because of how the fragrance, the notes mix. But I don't think it's a mistake. I think it was intended to smell like that, you know, to give off that bug sprayish kind of thing. It's got that beautiful citrus, the kind of opening that you get there when you get that first blast. But then as it sits down, it starts to develop into this like a bug spray kind of thing. Okay. The next fragrance that I would suggest you sample first before you blind buy is Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash. Okay, I don't have a problem with this fragrance at all. I totally get this fragrance, but I do feel that some people might not get this fragrance, and this is why I included it here. I'm going to spray it on a piece of paper as well. So this is Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker. Okay, this is your black pepper. It's mixed with some sage, some grapefruit, some atlas cedar, some patchouli, some pistachio, mosaic wood, some vetiver, etc. Okay, it's got a lot of notes. Okay, now this, unless you've used niche fragrances, okay, if you are a designer kind of fragrance pro, or if you have used a lot of celebrity fragrances, you know, fragrances that are mass appealing, that sort of thing, this might take you by surprise. It's not your usual fragrance. It's not your usual walk in the park. There we go again. It goes plasticky. It's blah, blah, blah. This will give you a shock, okay? It's the smell of nature in a bottle. Imagine somebody in the middle of the woods with an axe chopping, you know, fresh wood, or a tree cutter has just cut a tree, okay? And it's in that state where it's still got that wet feel of it because it's not dry. That is what I get from Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash. It feels like freshly chopped woods. There is a lot of herbs in here, so it gives off like a herbal thing there, which I feel for a lot of people it may need a bit of getting used to. So this, I would say, test first before you blind buy. It is beautiful though. It's an acquired kind of scent. You know, I was shocked when I got it the first time, but I love it a lot, and I intend to get a backup bottle, speaking of which. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is Montale's Sweet Oriental Dream. Okay, Sweet Oriental Dream. This I'm not even going to spray. I'll tell you why. This fragrance is so potent that if I spray it, I literally have to go and take a bath. It just doesn't go away, period. Okay, so for that reason, I'm not going to spray it. I'm just going to sniff the nozzle because already I can smell it here. All right, so Montale's Sweet Oriental Dream is your almond, your honey, your vanilla, your rose. Okay, this is your stubborn kind of baby powder scent. Okay, I don't know how they did this to create baby powder on steroids. Okay, this is what you get. It's one beastly Montale. Okay, fine, granted, Montales are beast mode, most of them, but this takes it to another level. I can honestly tell you, this is a fragrance that you'll need to wash up. It doesn't go away. I cannot even put a timeline for this fragrance on the skin. I have gotten to a point where I just can't wear it on the skin because it's that suffocating. Now, likening it to baby powder, one is tempted to say, well, baby powder is nice. You know, why wouldn't you like baby powder? Oh yeah, baby powder is nice. But imagine baby powder emmed up times 1,000, okay? Now, and then in your face, where it's chokingly in your nose. That is what you get by, you know, from this Montale Sweet Oriental Dream. It is one fragrance that will suffocate you, the people around you. It will stay on your clothes. It is that stubborn. And then this baby powder thing, to me at least, starts to give off some kind of, you know, some kind of scent that I smelled when I went to a hospital years back. I can remember this. I don't know what it is, you know, that they spray in hospital. I get it from this, and it's not in a good way. So Sweet Oriental Dream by Montale, I'd say test it first. Don't blind buy it. And I wouldn't recommend that you gift it either, you know, because you may actually get your feelings hurt if you gift it to your partner and they don't use it. I know, and I also get the fact that a lot of people like this, by the way. I'm just talking from my personal experience. You know, you go and try and find reviews for this, you'll see a lot of people are actually crazy about Sweet Oriental Dream. So I'm not, to me, it just didn't do it, but it is what it is. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is my Tom Ford Orchid Soleil, okay. Tom Ford Orchid Soleil, okay. This, I say, test before you blind buy. I am going to spray this on a piece of paper and I'll tell you why, okay. This is one of the very unique Tom Fords. Not to say he doesn't do unique fragrances. Tom Ford is known for unique fragrances, but this is unique on another level, okay? This is so different. And it's so heartbreaking that this has been discontinued, by the way. So if it's your favorite, then go ahead and try and find it, because this is gone. I don't know, maybe it's gone because of the complexity of it or because it wasn't that popular. I'm not sure. Okay, not sweet. You see. Tom Ford's Orchid Soleil is a lactonic, nutty, floral, vanilla with some pink pepper and some bitter orange. It's got that buttery feel to it. It's got a buttery solar feel to it. Okay, very unique, a bit intimidating, very unusual. Again, one fragrance that I'd say, if somebody that you're buying this for has not used niche fragrances. This is obviously not along the niche. This is not a niche marketed fragrance, but it's got that niche vibe to it. Okay, so if somebody hasn't used those very unusual scents, they might not get this. Okay, it's very fascinating as well. It changes a lot. Okay, what you get spraying it now, if I went and I took a bath and I sprayed it later, it just gives off all these different, really confusing kind of pages. Okay, sometimes it smells like mothballs, but not in a bad way. This is not bad at all. It's actually a favorite of mine. I'm savoring it. Sometimes it gives off that mothball kind of scent. Sometimes it smells like popcorn, tortillas, some whipped cream. It's just a mix of uniqueness going on in a bottle. So, you know, I would say instead of diving in and getting this, test it first, unless it's for yourself. Test it first. But it's a really unique Tom Ford. Okay. Now the next one, this might come as a shock to a lot of people, but I had to put it here. And this is YSL Libre. Okay. I know the bottle, the bottle kind of opposes this test it first kind of thing I'm talking about, because a lot of people just wanted the bottle. I'm one of them. I just bought this because I wanted the bottle. I didn't care what was inside. Okay. So I purchased this because I wanted the bottle. I'm gonna spray this on a piece of paper. The first review I gave of this was I slagged this. Okay, it wasn't a review actually, it was in the haul that I did. Okay, I'm just gonna give one spray because this is another very strong one. I slagged it off, you know, the first time I opened it, and it just shocked me. Okay, I wasn't expecting this from YSL Libre. Okay, this has got your lavender at the top, and it's got the lavender at the top and the mid, okay, and this is where it kind of, where the lavender kind of becomes a dominating note in here. It's because it's in the top and it's in the mid, okay. It's got some black currant, some orange blossom, and it's got the jasmine there and a lot more other notes. Okay, so this is your bold, sexy scent, okay, which opens up with this citrusy kind of thing. And that citrusy thing is very wowing and very welcoming. So when you spray it for the first time, you're like, oh, wow, this is good, okay? And then it starts to sit and it starts to develop and it starts to change and it starts to do all sorts of things. And at this point, this fragrance starts to give up like a masculine vibe, like a soapy vibe, to a point where I feel this should have been marketed unisex, okay? I now appreciate it, obviously. I did a video where I said I changed my mind. And I spoke about this fragrance. It takes a bit of getting used to. But if you're one of those people if you're a girly girl, you might find it a bit, a bit annoying in the sense that it does turn masculine, okay? And again, like I said, this is because of the 2 lavender uses in the top and in the mid. Some people would say, I wish it stayed citrusy, but I think YSL did that for a reason. They wanted this to be unique. The turn into the soapy kind of powdery kind of masculine thing is what makes it unique. So YSL's Libre made it on this list of fragrances that I feel you should blind buy first. This one, however, is one of the lighter ones. You could take a chance and just buy this. The other ones, maybe not. And even with this, again, you need to know, if you're gifting, you need to know who you're gifting. Are they the sort of person that is open-minded? Because if you got that person that just wants your girly girl, rosy, sweet kind of scents and stuff, they might not get, the dry down of this fragrance. Now, the other two, I'm not going to say a lot about them. They're from Lattafa. Okay, this one's YSL Oud. I just had to put it here. YSL Oud is obviously inspired by Oud for Greatness. They went on to call this one Oud for Glory. Okay, reason I've put this one as one that is not safe to blind buy is definitely something in here there's something in here that comes across as super as incense-y. Something in here comes across as rubbery. Something in here comes across as like the scent of burnt tires, something like that. So it is a beautiful fragrance, but it's unique, and it depends on whether or not you will get these parts that I'm talking about. If you are that kind of a person that prefers your fragrance, to be your usual, these kind of linear scents that everybody knows of, this might actually shock you. So this, I would say, test first before you blind buy. The only good thing about the Lattafas, though, is they're dirt cheap, so you can afford to just buy it and maybe disregard it if you don't like it. Now, the last one I want to talk about is this one, Lattafa's 24 karat pure gold 999.9. I had a subscriber reach out to me and asking me, whether this was smoky. Is it really, really smoky? Because I like smoky fragrances. And I said, I got you, girl. This is smoke in a bottle, okay? So Lattafa's 24 karat pure gold is really smoky. And for that reason, I put it here, because some people might not like that, or it might come as a surprise, that, what's going on here? It is really, really smoky. It gives you a realistic smell of smoke. However, it is a perfume. So, it's important to note that it does obviously turn into other pages and stuff like that. So that's why I put it here. Now, that's what I had for you. 8 fragrances within my collection, or 8 fragrances out there, or 8 popular fragrances that I feel you should test first before you blind buy. These are fragrances that I wouldn't recommend that you go online, press the buy button, or click or purchase, put in the trolley, check out, without necessarily testing them, unless you are that kind of a person where you're collecting and you don't mind surprises, or you've used niche fragrances, because these fragrances need some getting used to, especially if you are that designer kind of fragrance nose. If you like the designer, you like the celebrity scents, you like, the more crowd pleasing scent, they have a different twist to them. My name is CeeChronicles. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Please do consider subscribing and joining this family. I would appreciate that you do subscribe. Like this video if you liked it. Throw in a comment if you've got something to say. I would appreciate that as well. Let me know in the comment section if you have any one of these or if this was helpful. And please do stay safe. We know what's going on out there. Please do stay safe, stay blessed. And remember, guys, smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.